Hi friends, Pastor David here. Why Jehovah Witness group teach not to worship Jesus? Today we are going with Jesus to the burning bush at Midian. Jehovah's Witness are not Christians. They don't have any church. But some people are wrongly thinking that they are Christians. They are false Christians. They are called as cult groups. They don't have a church. They have a kingdom hall that is not to worship Jesus but to sit and chat few things. That's all. But why some people call them as Christians? Because they have the Bible, that too a wrong Bible, and they talk something about Jesus, but all false things. They are like blind people. Jesus told, right? Blind who leads the blind, they are like that. They have a half knowledge. Half knowledge is always a problem. You all know that, right? I'll tell you a story. Once a man grew a parrot and he trained that parrot to talk. So he called it a talking parrot. He will wish good morning, the parrot will wish good morning. He will wish good night, the parrot will wish good night. And he became very happy because of the training. And he talked about that parrot so proudly to his friends. And once he brought the friend in the morning. And he took him to the parrot and said, good morning. The parrot said, good night. Good morning, parrot. It said, good night. He got angry because the friend started laughing and he felt very humiliated. Hey, parrot, good morning. It again said, good night, much louder. He went to bring something to knock and kill it. Then his friend said, hey, man, stop. There could be some other problem happen. Maybe there is some problem happen to the parrot. It is morning, I also know, you also know, but check the eyes of the parrot. And when he checked, he found there was a problem in its eye. The previous night something has happened, some animal has hurt and it has lost the eyes and the sight. So it is always dark and no wonder it wished good night. So when people talk false things about Jesus, it is not that Jesus is wrong, but they may be blind. Now Jehovah Witness have half knowledge, I told you, isn't it? They say Jesus is the Son of God. The Father has begotten him as his son, created him as his son. So you worship the creator, not the creation. Don't worship Jesus, but respect him only as Son of God. That is what they say. And again they say that Jesus is the God, Son of God in the New Testament. Before his birth, in the Old Testament, God is called as Jehovah, that is the Father. This is again wrong. Why? Because the word Jehovah is taken from the root Hebrew word Yah. It can be translated as I am who I am, Yah, or Jehovah, Yahweh, translated as the Lord. Now, why this problem? Because in Hebrew language, while writing the literatures, they will only use the consonants, not vowels. While reading it, they will understand according to the context, but it could be understood by us in different ways. When you change the vowels, for example, B-U-T but, B-I-T bit, B-A-T bat. If you remove the vowels from this word and you write only B-T, what you will read? Bit or but or bat? You won't know. Similarly, the Hebrew word is also like that. So these people called it as Jehovah, is the Father. Now what these people don't understand is, Jesus is the I am who I am in the Old Testament. Even in New Testament he told, I am the way, truth, life, I am the good shepherd. He is the great I am. Before he was born as human being, he was still a pre-existent God. And he was the God in Old Testament. He appeared to people in the form of fire, in the form of angels, and in many different forms. Father is unrevealable part of God, but the Son is the revealable part of God. It was Jesus who revealed himself in the Old Testament as well as in the New Testament. If you read the whole Bible, this is what you understand, but people with half knowledge don't understand. The Jehovah Witnesses do so. They say Jesus always called himself a Son of Man. Why? Jesus preferred to call the title Son of Man for himself because the ancient prophet Daniel, he wrote, I am seeing someone like Son of Man coming down from heaven. He introduced the ministry of Jesus well ahead in time. Jesus picked that word. That doesn't mean he is not Son of God. Jesus had various titles. He used Messiah, Son of God, Son of Man, and various other things. Jesus in many places received worship showing that he is God. But the Jehovah Witnesses are false group. They conveniently put aside all this truth about Jesus, like Muslims who treat Jesus only as a man or a prophet, but not as God. They also treat so. So, now you understand it was Jesus in the Old Testament who appeared to Moses in the burning bush. So we now go along with Jesus and understand this fact. And you know one thing you understand? You know in what context Jesus revealed himself as I am who I am, or Jehovah, or the Lord? In the context of liberating his people from slavery. Even in the New Testament, he revealed himself as a savior. In Matthew chapter 1 verse 21, we read about the mission of Jesus. The angel told that he should be called in the name Jesus because the meaning is he will save his people from sins. Matthew chapter 1 verse 23 says, they called him Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God with us. Jesus is God with us. Today, do you know what you must understand? Jesus is your Savior. Are you into some trouble? Or you know some people who are into trouble? Jesus came as a Savior to liberate you, to free you, to save you. Hold that one word and say, Jesus, you are my Savior. Save me. He is willing to save. The salvation is a story. Salvation is true and it is a success story of many people. And it is going to be the success story of you also. God bless you. With another question and answer, I'll meet you again soon.